We're back with Illinois gubernatorial candidate Gary Rabine. You're a businessman, as you mentioned, who's never held political office. The same is true for the current governor and Republican Bruce Rauner before him. Clearly, having experience in public office doesn't matter to the voters in Illinois. But do you think Illinois should be run like a business?
Yeah, so there's a big difference, Jim. I mean, if I inherited a few $1 billion and then started buying companies with that money, that's not building businesses, that's not building relationships, that's buying them. And this governor's, that's what he's been doing all his life, is buying, in my opinion, buying relationships and buying businesses. And most of the businesses he's bought and he's invested in aren't in Illinois for some reason. Most of his properties aren't in Illinois. I'm invested in this state in a big way. I built my businesses from the ground up, starting with nothing, and I'm going to continue to really understand why we're losing businesses. I mean, this governor went to Texas recently, or it was soliciting Texas business people to come to Illinois. We don't have a chance of that. We have to straighten out our regulatory environment in Illinois so the businesses actually want to stay here before we can talk about going and recruiting new businesses to come here. We have no chance to get businesses across the country or across the world to want to come to Illinois until we become competitive when it comes to taxation and regulation.
But do you think Illinois should be run like a business?
I think any budget should be run like anybody with a budget of any type, whether it's our personal budgets or our business budgets or our government, our state budget, needs to be run like a business. Yes, if we can't live within our budget, we shouldn't expect to survive financially, and we haven't for a long time, as you know.
Now, there is one issue encompassing the country and Illinois more than any other, and that is, of course, the pandemic. And you've been highly critical of Governor Pritzker's approach. What do you think he's getting wrong? What would you do differently?
Well, here's what he's getting wrong. We live in a free country, Jim. I would not put mandates on kids in schools. I wouldn't allow mandates in businesses or in government or hospitals or anything when it comes to vaccinations. And I am not an anti-vaxxer. I've been vaxxed many times in my life, and I believe in vaccination. But I'll tell you what, I don't believe that anybody should be forced to be vaccinated if they're, whether it's their health reasons or religious reasons. That they choose not to. So I think that's where he's getting it wrong. He's running our state like a dictator, not like a leader.
Now, from last I heard, though, you are not vaccinated against COVID-19. It's on the record that you decided not to because you had the coronavirus. Am I correct about that?
You're exactly right. I had the coronavirus end of last December, and myself and my family had it. We were on vacation together, and all got it, and got through it. It wasn't easy. But, we believe that our antibodies, I shouldn't say we, because some of my family members will get vaxxed, and many of them have gotten vaxxed, my father, my sisters, and whatever. And I got to tell you, my choice right now is that I believe my antibodies are strong and working for me. And if I didn't get it already, I'd probably be vaxxed already, or considering it anyway, right?
Because the CDC still recommends the vaccine if you had the coronavirus. Why not follow that recommendation?
Why? Because I believe I'm a healthy guy. I'm a person that studies health and as much as I can, as I work out a lot, and I believe our antibodies are built for that. And I'm not sure that a vaccine that has only been around for a year and a half, or not even a vaccine. I mean, it's been approved, just recently, as far as as a vaccine to be something that we can enforce. I just don't think that I have to have it. That's up to me. I may get it eventually in the future if I think that my antibodies aren't there anymore, but I'll be getting tested for antibodies, and as long as they're strong, I probably won't get it.
In the interview you gave to my colleague Mark Maxwell, you indicated that you won't encourage people to get the vaccine. Do you think that sets a good example for public safety as governor? Because Republican governors across the country are encouraging people to get the vaccine.
Yeah, I wouldn't encourage either way. It's up to every individual. So, I mean, for me personally, and for my kids and stuff, we're gonna choose to do what we think is best for our health and our bodies and our religious beliefs. I wouldn't encourage either way. It's up to every individual.
Now, you mentioned earlier, you're not an anti-vaxxer per se, but why do you feel these vaccines should be optional when they're required for things like polio, measles, mumps, and rubella, and more?
Well, I think if you look back at those vaccines, it took years, actually 10 years or above, before those vaccines got approved. This has been a year and a half in the making. So I think there's a little difference there. For many of us, the risk of death is very, very low. So it's just up to us. I just think you have to have a freedom of choose to choose these things. Government should not be picking winners and losers in business, and they shouldn't be picking winners and losers in health.
Illinois gubernatorial candidate Gary Rabine. The campaign is early, obviously. We're going to get to more issues hopefully down the line. Hope to talk to you again before the primary, sir. Good luck with the campaign.